Hello everybody, welcome to the Flight Sim Deck. We're in Sonoma County Airport in Santa Rosa, California, and we'll be doing a flight down to John Wayne International in Santa Ana. And this will be with the Dash8 Q400, Horizon Airlines flight number 2469. As you can see here, while we're finishing up some lunch, we got the plane parked out there and we'll be boarding very soon and doing this flight down to the OC. So come along and hope you enjoy. So this is skyvector.com. This is where I do most of my route planning, and I'm going to show you the route that we'll do today over here, basically near the Bay Area of Northern California. And Sonoma is right up here, the Santa Rosa Airport. And we'll be going down to Oakland, will be our first waypoint. We'll be doing the Charlie departure. And that'll basically just bring us on to Red Hot, which will be our transition, and then that'll bring us into the OC arrival that we'll do into John Wayne, going by Catalina Island and on into the airport. And that's pretty much going to do it. That'll be that's going to be the route for today. So let's zoom out and get on to the rest of the flight. So we've got the ground power unit connected, and we're going to start the engine up. So we'll get the fan off and turn the ignitions on, and we'll start the number 2 engine. I actually learned recently the preferred method for starting this plane is with the ground power unit connected. So when it's possible, otherwise you do the APU. So we're starting the number 2 engine. And we're letting that all level out. Alright, just about stabilized, so we'll start the number 1. And move the condition lever up. I'm going to show the whole startup today. It's been a while since I've flown this plane, so just so I can remember for next time, in case I forget anything. Alright, both of those have stabilized, so we'll get the bus tie off. The generators and the external power can come off. And now we'll get the ground power unit disconnected. We'll wait for it to disappear any moment. There we go. Now we can move the condition levers to max. And you can listen to the beautiful sound of the Dash8 starting up. The auto feather on, the fuel pumps, and the hydraulics. The bleeds can come on, the fan and the packs. Actually, this should be set to red. Anti-skid, and the yaw damper. Also need to bleed the engines out to minimum and get the window heat on before the windows fog up. set the flaps first. Flaps 10 today. And then I'm going to move the throttles up. For taxi, my throttle quadrant isn't working so well lately. It's kind of jumps all over the place, so I'm moving these up to about 71. And that seems to be a really good speed for taxiing. Not 71 knots, but gosh, I forgot what that number represents right now, but setting it to 71, taxiing on that. No need for pushback, we just get the roll right out of here. That's how they do it in Sonoma, out of these terminals. So we're going to get on to Zulu and then Alpha over to 3-2. And that'll be how we depart today. Nice to be back in the Dash 8. It's actually been about 5 months since I've flown this plane. I was really getting into it with the prepared version 3. And then 4 came out, and I had to uninstall 3 because of some errors I was having. So I lost the ability to use the Dash 8. And recently came back for version 4. So this is my first time back with it. And like I said, about 5 months. So this will be a warm-up flight and see if I can get back some of the knowledge, because this is one of the trickier planes to fly. A lot of steps to get things right, but then it's pretty easy once you have it all down. Once you have the flows down and know what you need to do, it's a pretty straightforward aircraft. That's the Sonoma County by Orbx. Another beautiful airport. You know, one of my favorite developers is definitely Orbx. Great quality, and I always love the static aircraft they put around there. It really helps the immersion quite a bit. And right up here we'll make a left on Alpha, and then we're not too far from the end of 3-2. Or the start of 3-2, I should say.
2467, pushing at the terminal, flight 14, departure to the south.
Now remember, Orbx is having 35% off sale. If you're watching this in November, or I'm sorry, December of 2017. Get the pitot static on, and that's all taken care of. Alright, and the entrance is coming up here on the right. Kind of overcast today. There was some fog earlier. But not too bad. A lot more fog this season. I think mainly because of the rain. It's got a lot of moisture in the ground. And in Sonoma, it's closer to the coast. Alright, we're going to pull up here to 3-2. Hold short for just a moment, and then we'll be on our way to line up and take off. Okay, we'll get the taxi light off, the landing lights on. And that's all we need to do for the moment. This will be the Charlie 5 departure that we're doing today. We're going to climb to 7,000 feet and hold there, and then we'll be on our way to a cruise altitude of 25,000 feet today. Alright, that's a good lineup. Get the spoilers over to flight. Speed is alive. $80 knots. V1, rotate. Positive climb, gear up. And we are off. This is, we're going to do the left traffic pattern and then onto our assigned route. Got the condition levers back to 900. And the auto feather and the fuel pump's going to come off. And now we're just going to hand fly it over there. Just gonna hand fly until we've made our 180, and then we're lined up with the plan. Put the heading mode in IAS and set it for 200. Scenery looks good. I have the NorCal pack installed by Orbx, so it looks great out here in Sonoma. And there's the airport. There's 3-2 where we just took off from. Go ahead and move the heading bug up in the direction we're going. I don't know what the pilots are doing here, holding their heads like that. I think I'd be kind of scared if I was on this flight, knowing that's what they're doing right now. But that is what it is. Alright, so we're going to hold it here at 7,000. Get the autopilot on. And then we'll wait till we're cleared up to 25,000 feet. We'll be on our way to the rest of the route. Just put the LNAV on so we'll grab onto the route now. It is gorgeous out here with these clouds and this nice terrain out here. Beautiful views. Get the terrain on now. I'll put it on for the... Actually, I can't reach the button for the first officer, but I don't want to... I'm just going to leave it. I don't want to move over there. Those clouds look really nice today. Right, so we're on our way up to 25,000 feet now. Just passing 10 so we can get the landing lights off. Just about 13,000 feet to go. Kind of swaying about right now. Probably gonna do a chase plane tutorial soon about how to get the different motion effects on your aircraft. Had somebody ask about that, what I do for ground shake and stuff like that, so I think I'll just demonstrate it in a video. But right now, pretty much on the easy way out. Not much left for the workload. Once we get to cruise, I'll set our point for the VNAV, since we already know what approach we're doing. Well, right now it's just time to sit back, relax, and enjoy the views. Probably do some Dash8 stuff out of Sacramento. I think they have. No, that's not the Dash8. I want to do some CRJ stuff out of Sacramento, actually. Dash8, I have a few of them written down. I've actually been going through routes lately that I'd like to do, and I've just been writing them all down. Got about a list of 20 or so, because I come up with them all the time, but then I forget which ones I want to do, so I've started making a list. I can kind of cross it off the list. I'm trying to stick with airports that I have scenery for. And pretty soon I need to pick up a good Seattle. Because that just opens up so many different routes. Seattle's a big hub in the US for all kinds of flights, international and domestic. I need to get that 747 soon too. It's been too long. I need to get it. That'll also open up new routes. Over here on our right, at a San Francisco International Airport that we're passing right now, on the first officer side. It's getting a little laggy up around here. Usually the San Francisco area, I usually have trouble with that. It's probably just a combination of the scenery and also having San Francisco installed in the airport. So we're about to hit our cruise altitude, flight level 250, so we're going to hit the altitude select and that will grab the altitude. And that is where we'll be for about 40 minutes or so. Right now I'm just taking a look at setting up the VNAV. So it looks like minnow down to 3,000 feet is going to be the where we need to point it. Which is number 18? No. Yeah, 18. We'll enter that. We'll just leave those alone. 1800 is good, so there we go. 235 miles until top of descent. I really like how it plans all that out for you. The VNav on this airplane is very good. It works very well. Doing a great job to get you down to the altitude you need to be at on schedule. Alright, so 24 miles to go for the top of descent. And we have reached it, and we're grabbing the VNav path now. Catalina Island is straight ahead. We're going down there. We've got a little bit of clouds off to our left here. Most of it's away from where we're going, though. We're going out to the clear air area off to our 9 o'clock or so, or about 10 o'clock. Right now we're going to tune 111.75 for the VOR at John Wayne for runway 2 left. Right now we just passing 13,000 feet, and this is why they call it the OC arrival, because they don't, well, one, it's kind of a clever name for it because OC, Orange County, but then also they spell it OC, like OHSEA, like OC, you know, because you're flying over the sea for this, you know, for most of this arrival. So that's one of those clever stars that they have. Got a left turn coming up soon. This is the plate for it, for the OC1. As I was flying down to 3,000 feet, and that'll bring us on in to the airport today. Also been a while since I've flown into John Wayne. I'd like to do a flight out of there soon, just to do the noise abatement stuff. Almost passing 10,000, so just got the landing lights on. But yeah, probably a Southwest flight out of there and do the fun departure. Alright, so we're making our slight turn, and then that's right before we make the big turn. which will start lining us up with the runway. Going through 9,000 feet. Trying to include longer clips of the arrivals and departures lately. Got the heading bug to 1616 for the runway heading. And that's where we'll be going up there pretty soon. Just a few minutes. Going through 7,000 feet now. And here we go. And that'll be the last turn. That's pretty much from this point forward lines you up with the runway. So it's a pretty easy approach, just a straight in. So you can't complain with that. Not always the most fun to do, but it's efficient. So we'll get the auto feather on in the fuel pumps now that we're on the approach. And set the baro 35.08. Now I just have the VNAV taken to 3,000, and then we'll get the autopilot off and we'll hand fly it in. It's pretty clear, and the runway is almost in sight. The only reason it's not is because it hasn't fully loaded in. The city's just loading in now, as you can see, straight ahead. And 3,000 is coming up right now. I have the pappy lights in my sight. The runway is still a little light in color because the cloud's out that way. And I still don't think it's loaded. It's taking its time loading all that stuff, though. Alright, so we're getting the autopilot off, and we're gonna hand fly from here, gear down. Green, looks good. Just get the condition levers to max. Even though it doesn't really matter, I think they're going to change as soon as I move the throttle. Because my throttle is, I think it's linked to those. Hopefully it'll stay. I got some weird things that I still need to fix with this aircraft, like my condition levers and stuff aren't calibrated correctly with my throttle yet. So far they're staying on max, so that's good. Wasn't sure if they were going to do that, but that's good. Now the runway is loaded. You notice how much darker it looks. And some of these textures are screwed up. They're not loading in right. So I have to check Orbx. Usually it means they have an update to their library. Yeah, those are real funny. Oh, especially off to the left. Otherwise, it looks very good. That's like they're just layered on top of each other. So I'll have to look into that. Right now I got about like a 30-degree dead zone on my yoke compared to this thing. I'll turn my yoke about 30 degrees and that's when it finally starts to move the yoke in the cockpit, so that makes landing a little tricky. So I apologize if there's any overcorrecting. It's just kind of a weird thing to get used to. I just need a whole new yoke, whole new everything though. Been using these for about 4 years. Right up here. So I got the spoilers back to taxi. Flaps are coming up and the landing lights off, taxi light on. And let's check out the replay. We'll cross to right here and check out the replay. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed those. Those were always fun to film, especially at a good looking airport. This is done by LatinVFR, I believe. Yeah, I think so. And what a great airport it is. And my left window is a little foggy on the ground, even though I have the fan or the heat on for it. But it's not as bad as it can get. It can get completely fogged up. So it's kind of working. And we're gonna park over here. I'm not 100% sure this is where Horizon parks, but from an image I found on Google Maps, I did find one of the Horizon flights. I think it was actually the very first one that departed out of here ever, was parked over by this one. So that's just where I'm gonna pull over today. Or not pull over, but pull in. I'll go to the far one, which is, what is this? Looks like 1 Alpha, or Alpha 1. I'll hold right there. Parking brake on. And let's see, get the conditional letters to start and feather. I want to cut them completely. I want to get the ground power unit connected first.
2609 Detroit Juliet, back taxi 20 left, follow that.
So the hydraulics off, the auto feather. Nose wheel steering off. The bleeds off. And now we'll get the ground power unit. And that should be connected any moment. And there it is. Let's switch the power source over to that. And now we can cut the engines. Alright everybody, thank you so much for joining along on another Flight Sim Deck flight. Today's from Santa Rosa. Hope you enjoyed it. You guys take care, and I'll see you next time.